All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G, and we're about to get started this morning. Yeah, 10:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a topic that may be very popular or unpopular, but you got to know for those that don't know. We're going to be talking about the Federal Reserve Bank. You knew it was coming. I talked about it many of times that I said to myself that I was gonna go and tackle this topic, and you will be hearing other people explain it of what it is. It will be read as well. Regards to we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be going back into what's it period points in time, as far as 1910. We're gonna be talking about a little bit about the book about the creatures of Jekyll Island, but you will hear it and things and then understand it. But we're going to be talking about this. The reason why I harp on this, because let's face it, many of us that went to school, right, we never learned about the Federal Reserve banking system. We heard about it, but we never really was really taught about it in things. We never knew about it. We just assumed that the Federal Reserve Bank was the government. That's all we knew. We never knew about the inner workings, what goes on inside. Never been audited before, and it's a private bank. This is another thing, right? So it's like for those you scratch your head and say that how could a private bank, become, a private bank controls the government. Welcome, welcome to the chat. We're talking about who owns the Federal Reserve Bank. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, though, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wait for some people to get in, but I just wanted to go over the title in regards to the central bank or the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the same because it's privately owned. And this is something that you're going to have to teach your children's children because it's very, very important. This is our third central bank that was established here in this country, so that you guys will know. This is the third attempt. And so far, we have in history, we have dealt with this before in the past and things. Many times, or I should say, in the past, we know with JFK, we know what happened there. It has a lot to do with, again, um, wanting to either shut it down or audit it. And this is a problem, right, for them because they don't want us to pry, snoop regards to an audit. This is the most powerful organization in the world. It's a central bank. It does not adhere to any leadership, any government. They are the ones that control the money. We can go back to the Rothschilds, right? But we're going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about it. The Federal Reserve. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully, you'll be interested in learning about the Federal Reserve or not. This is not one of these entertaining topics, though. If you want to be entertained, there's other people's channels that you guys can visit. This is an educational channel. We're talking about things that matter, what's going on. I tackle the stories. I talk a lot about stuff to get people to be aware. Everyone should know what a central bank is, and the Federal Reserve is no exception. This is the type of stuff you should be teaching your children, your children's children. Why? Because it's very important. Many people don't realize or know that the central bank, this is our third attempt of getting rid of it. Omega. Hey, Omega, what's going on with you? Yeah, to answer, yes, it's owned, okay, one fifth by the owners of Chase Bank. Exactly. Your JP Morgans and so forth. That is why Chase isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the Federal Reserve, and as Omega says, Chase Bank. Anybody know who owns Chase Bank? JP Big Money Morgan, right? If you want to go into history of Chase, right? So yeah, so we're gonna be talking about it though, Omega. I'm just gonna wait for the other people to come into the room as well. But I do have my information here, so we'll be reading on what is going on with that because people got to really know, Omega, because again, the, with this organization here, this is something that our children's children should be learning, man. And they're not learning it, man. They have to know this. This is our problem. The biggest problem is that even though it's the third attempt, every time the central bank is challenged or removed, Andrew Jackson in his time, he had to deal with it. He was successfully able to remove it, even though an attempt assassination of life, but he ended up getting rid of it. But what happened, true fashion, people get lazy, they get complacent, and they just don't care. They just leave. It's a trait with humans. When you put responsibility on someone else, they stop doing what they need to do. And the problem is with that, this is why we got corruption today with a lot of these phony leaders, right? It really is. McKinley, yeah. Yep, JFK, exactly. JFK attempted to get rid of the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve. You know what ended up happening with him? He really wasn't aware. He thought that the FBI, people surrounded by him, was, on his side. It's like what Trump had to find out, right, in his first term. He had to find out who the people were, who was really the people that he could trust, and a lot of people he found out in government that he could not trust. With a lot of these congressmen, man, he had to find out a lot of stuff. And these are the people, unfortunately, that will set you up, get you killed, right? But this is our third attempt of getting rid of the Federal Reserve, which is the central bank. Welcome to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the most powerful organization on the planet, which is Central Bank Federal Reserve. We're going to go over it, but this is something that everyone got to tell your children and your children's children about the Federal Reserve Bank. This is something that should have been talked about. They never talk about it in history. They never talk about it. I'm talking about in school. They never talk about this type of stuff. We're going to go over a video. You'll hear the audio, but we're going to go over that. Creatures of Jekyll Island. We're going to talk about that. The secret meeting back in 1910. For those that don't know, you got to know what's going on, how we got here. I always like saying that there's always an origin of how we got here as Americans, and we can't be complacent in regards to allowing government and just say that's what happened before, Omega. We just, all of us is at fault. We can blame leadership, or who I blame, Omega. It's the people's fault because the people are disconnected in regards to what is going on in government. Right now, they're connected because, with Trump and everything like that. But I want the people to stay engaged. Just don't trust anything. You have to be, involved. You have to know what this private bank. You have to understand what it really is. When it was established, 1913, who and why and what for. We have to understand these things, because your children and your children's children are going to be dealing with this in the future. For those, and well, anyway, yeah, so they're going to have to deal with this type of stuff in the future. And if they don't understand, they say, Omega, you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And we know a lot of Americans, as well as people in the world, they're not tuned to history. They don't really like history very much. And this is the major problem. This is why we're stuck in a loop cycle. What do they call that? Groundhog's Day. This is what it is. Exactly. Exactly. Omega says the problem boils down to trust. Too many people trust the government. I agree. This is where the major problem is trusting our government. We as the people here in America, we are too trusting of our government. And we should be always skeptical. Just because we voted somebody in, they act like game over. Once we get them in there, we have to make sure, not just on the president level, this should be the thing from your local government all the way up to, all the way up, local as well as the nation. It's got to be more involvement in things. This is why we already know Doge was created because Elon knew how people are. I don't think we ever had anything like this on because they never had social media before in the past. But with the Doge, I like what they're doing because even though they got the bill, they got that they finally got agreement on the bill and things like that. What is it, the stop bill or whatever? They got agreement on that now. So, and I know I might have misspoke yesterday. It was 1,500 pages of that bill originally. But at any event, yeah, Elon said, I'm gonna post what they tried to pull on X. And there's people that have read that and they were outraged. And since Doge is going to be here, if the Federal Reserve Bank can exist as a private bank, so can Doge. So there he is. So we're gonna go over the video. You guys are here the audio. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play it right now, and you guys let me know if the audio is good and all that stuff. We're gonna start by. Let me see here. We're gonna start off by what I have here first. So here we go.
Commonly referred to as the Federal Reserve.
Let me do it
The
again.
Federal Reserve Bank, commonly referred to as the Federal Reserve or simply the Fed, is the central banking system of the United States. It was created by the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 to provide the country with a safer, more flexible, and more stable monetary and financial system. Its main functions include 1. Regulating and overseeing banks to ensure the stability of the financial system. 2. Controlling the money supply and interest rates to help manage inflation, employment, and overall economic growth. 3. Providing financial services, including managing the U.S. government's accounts and issuing currency. 4. Serving as a lender of last resort, helping financial institutions in times of crisis. The Federal Reserve is structured to be independent from direct political control, though it is subject to oversight by Congress. It operates through 12 regional banks located in major cities across the U.S. and a central governing body, the Board of Governors, based in Washington, D.C. Is it lawful? Yes, the Federal Reserve is completely lawful under U.S. law. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 is the legal foundation for the Federal Reserve, and it remains in effect today. Its creation was explicitly authorized by Congress, making it a legitimate and integral part of the U.S. financial system. While there are debates about its structure and policies, the existence of the Federal Reserve itself is consistent with U.S. law.
All right, so that's part of it there. I got more, way more. Omega says, sound is fair. Your upload rate is slightly unstable. Okay. All right, now I'm on the Wi-Fi. I'm not at home on the Ethernet. I was kind of afraid of that though, Omega, though. I'm gonna play it again for more people that are coming into the room though, and things. For people that are coming into the room, we're talking about who owns the Federal Reserve Bank, which is the central bank. So this is a very important topic for all Americans. Now, again, if you care about your children or not, I would definitely stick around because it's something that every household should be telling their children and their children's children. Because this is going to happen again. If Trump and the Patriots are successful in removing the central bank, it will resurface because evil never sleeps. It's always plotting, it's always figuring out a way to get back control of the central bank. This is what happened in the past. So, as many people sleep and they know how evil works, it knows how people are. This is why you have to always be vigilant. You have to always be on guard and you have to always be on the lookout because this is what happened in America. People fell asleep and they took over the bank, our treasury, turned into the U.S. Treasury. It's all corporation stuff. And whose fault is that? It's us, the people. We can blame leadership or we can blame the people. You can't be complacent. You can't be lazy and you cannot be involved. You got to be involved. If you're just going to leave it up to other people, and this is the problem with government again. The government is us, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the people on Capitol Hill or in the White House. It is us. We are the people. We have to be vigilant. Evil never sleeps. This is why we are in doo doo right now, if you I'm pardon the word, but it is what it is. Omega says, yeah, son of a, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I got you. Son of a, and that's exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what it is. We have to be very, very careful here because we are in a war right now of who controls the monetary banking system. I'm going to play it again, but I want you guys to understand what the Federal Reserve Central Bank is all about. It's never been audited. It's the most powerful organization. If you want to talk about gangster, skip the mob. You know who controls the mob and controls the politicians, control what's going on in here? It's all going back to the Federal Reserve. That's why, if you notice, they don't like the attention that's going on right now. They're afraid that every American is waking up, which they are, and they are becoming more aware about the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve. They are being more awakened now about it. And I would like to see more content creators talk about this. We can talk about other things going on in the world, but this right here is the big kahuna. No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is exactly what it is. So let's go ahead and play it again for those who are just coming into the room.
The Federal Reserve Bank, commonly referred to as the Federal Reserve or simply the Fed, is the central banking system of the United States. It was created by the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 to provide the country with a safer, more flexible, and more stable monetary and financial system. Its main functions include 1. Regulating and overseeing banks to ensure the stability of the financial system. 2. Controlling the money supply and interest rates to help manage inflation, employment, and overall economic growth. 3. Providing financial services, including managing the U.S. government's accounts and issuing currency. 4. Serving as a lender of last resort, helping financial institutions in times of crisis. The Federal Reserve is structured to be independent from direct political control, though it is subject to oversight by Congress. It operates through 12 regional banks located in major cities across the U.S. and a central governing body, the Board of Governors, based in Washington, D.C. Is it lawful? Yes, the Federal Reserve is completely lawful under U.S. law. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 is the legal foundation for the Federal Reserve, and it remains in effect today. Its creation was explicitly authorized by Congress, making it a legitimate and integral part of the U.S. financial system. While there are debates about its structure and policies, the existence of the Federal Reserve itself is consistent with U.S. law.
Okay, so here it is, man. Now, I disagree about it being lawful because, like I said before, when we look at it, what makes laws lawful? It has to be approved through the people. You just can't have these night back room, whatever you're on the island, Jekyll Island, whatever it is. That's not lawful. This Federal Reserve Bank was created in deceit. You know, as Omega says, son of a itch be plotting. And that's exactly what it is. Son of a, you know what? Some mother, you'd already know. They be plotting, right? All the stuff that they have been creating in our so-called government, because people think the government, ladies and gentlemen, they think it's the people in the White House. They think that is government. It's not government. Government is the people, for the people, by the people. That's the government, not the people in Washington. It's not the government. They are servants of the people that were put there by an oath. They were sworn to uphold the Constitution. They have failed in doing so, and we have failed as the people. We should have been making sure we should have been had a Doge a long time ago. You know, we should have been more involved in the government because this is what controls our livelihood. We can't necessarily say that we have freedom, liberty, in the pursuit of happiness. We can't say that right now. We're on the way of having that, but we can't say that right now. Omega says representatives, not rulers. Exactly. They are the people in government are representatives of the people. The people are the government. And I really wish you guys would be more the ones that are coming in. I wish you guys would stick around a little bit more because like I said, this is the biggest problem, Omega. This is the problem because you have people that do not care. They think that this situation, this will let me know how bad it is here in America and how dumbed down we are. You know, I mean, this is sad. The room should be like banging. You know, it really should because we're talking about stuff that affect our lives. And when you want to just, I mean, you want to leave it up to chance. This is our biggest problem. It's the problem in America are the people. The people allowed this to happen. We all did. Now, whether you want to leave and come and go and this and that, this is serious, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious, you know, seriously. Because, like I said before, history is going to repeat itself. Because Trump get rid of it. Let's say if he was successful in getting rid of the Federal Reserve Central Bank. What about your children's children? They're not teaching this stuff in school. If they don't know how to write in cursive, you know one of the main reasons why they got rid of cursive writing? Because they know that the Declaration of Independence is written in cursive. They don't know calligraphy. I studied calligraphy as an artist. I can read it. Your children can't. Most of your children cannot read calligraphy. They can't read cursive, and they can't write cursive. It was a reason for that. So that way they wouldn't understand. These people that are in charge are very wicked smart people. And unfortunately, they are a lot smarter than we are. Their children are too. They know how to read cursive. Can any of your children write or read cursive? I'm willing to bet that they cannot. I'm willing to bet on that. We learned it, Omega, in our generation, Generation Xers, the ones before us, baby boomers, they knew how to read in cursive. They knew how to write it, and then we knew how to read it. But your children today, millennials, zennials, Gen Alpha, do not know how to write and read in cursive. They do print and they do type. The Declaration of Independence is not written in type. You can get it converted, but they did this on purpose, man. They played a game on us. See, look at it right now, man. This is terrible, man. It's like people don't even give a damn, man. This is the problem. Until it affect their lives, Omega, they don't care. People don't care about history. This is the most powerful organization on the planet, and they act like if we won because Trump is in there. We haven't won yet. We have not won, ladies and gentlemen. It's the beginning of the fight. And the problem, once again, are the people. You're the ones that are incomplacent. You know what I'm saying? You do not understand what is going on. We allowed this to happen. We did. We, the people, allowed this ish to happen. So therefore, I'm talking about it. None of you, we ain't learned nothing. When I was in school, we never learned about the Federal Reserve Bank. Why? Why haven't we not learned about the Federal Reserve Bank? Why haven't the bank never been audited? Right? Why is it that our inflation, we have government spending up the wazoo, there have been given credit cards that with no limit on them. I'm talking about the politicians. And this is why you look at the average of them. We went down the list. Most of your politicians, Democrats as well as Republicans, they have a net worth well over, we're talking about triple digits, double digits, triple digits, millions of dollars, up to billions of dollars. We didn't put them in there for them to get rich. We put them in there to be representatives of the people for the people, which is us. But once again, we allow this ish to happen. This is why the Doge was created, to give more transparency in regards to the laws that are being made. You guys gonna know it once in when you run across my channel, I'm doing, and I would like to see more content creators talk about the Federal Reserve as well. You talk about everything else what's going on in the news. You should be knowing about the Federal Reserve, right? You should. So this is where we are. I know everybody that come in the room is not from American, they're not, but I'm a challenge that too. Because what country, wherever country you are, I guarantee you have a central bank of some sort. Your government ain't running ish. It's a central bank. They hold no allegiance to no presidents, no kings, no monarchy at all. They don't have no allegiance to any party affiliate at all. They don't have no loyalty with the people. The only thing they care about is controlling the money reserve, right? This is how they get down. This is why our presidents are manipulated or controlled, both, I would want to say, right? They control everything. It's a regulated. We are regulated, meaning that we are under control, under someone's rule. This was never supposed to happen. The founding fathers wrote, what is it? The Constitution, because it was important that every citizen is supposed to know the Constitution. And you're supposed to teach it to your children and your children's children, because it's going to come up in the next generations ahead. We may not be around, definitely, but they're going to have a challenge again. And I'm afraid that because of the lack of participation with this type of topics, it's going to happen again, Omega. Because once again, people get lazy. They get comfortable. They want a big daddy to make it go away. They think because Trump is in there, it's all good. You have a lot of work. Evil never sleeps. It's always plotting. It's always thinking of a way for more control. And they were on their way of making us into real slaves. Whether you believe it or not, we fell down on the job as Americans about this evil institution that is called the Federal Reserve. It's not lawful because it wasn't created for the people by the people. And it had to be myself and others to talk about this issue. And you need to teach this to your children. Teach them cursive writing. They have to learn cursive writing. How is it that you're going to have a school? Why is it they got rid of cursive writing? They don't want them to know the truth. You should be teaching your children about the Federal Reserve. Now I'm going to go back into the video very shortly because it's important. If you stick around, you're going to start hearing about the creatures in Jekyll Island. I know many of you haven't read the book, and that's cool. That's fine. But before I go into that video, and y'all are going to hear the audio, I want you, if you don't know anything else, try to learn about the Federal Reserve. All our issues in this country is pointing to the Federal Reserve. Every country around the world has a central bank, which is basically the same. They hold no allegiance to none of the people, none of the government, no military, or no party. I want you guys to think about this, right? All of you heard of Rothschild, right? Right? What's his name? Norman Rothschild that set all this up? One of them. Rockefellers here in America, you guys have one too in your country. And this is why we are in trouble. This is a globalist thing. This ain't just a few, it's global, man. Billy Sharp says, I'm a man, not a fish. Billy Sharp in the house. Boy, you staying sharp, Billy Sharp. Yep, Billy Sharp. Yep. Welcome, Billy Sharp. Yep. On my true fashion, I'm back on my schedule for Saturday morning learning. and we're talking about the Federal Reserve. This is a topic once again that we have to know. Yeah, I appreciate you, Billy Sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Sharp in the house. I got a tune thing for all of you guys too, man. I got a special little one of the horn thing though. If I was in my studio, I'll be sounding it off right about now. Yeah, so other than that though, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into this video and stuff like that, man. I want people to be aware of the Federal Reserve Bank. This is our problem, Billy Sharp. We are definitely not sharp as a people. We allow this organization is very unlawful. It was never created by the people, and that's what I'm trying to get the people to understand. If everybody knew the Constitution, they'll understand that the IRS, Federal Reserve, FBI, CIA, they'll know that these institutions what is that Homeland Security, Department of Homeland Security, DEA, all these, none of these things are lawful, man. Billy Sharp said, I love that I can find you right here while I'm having some coffee. Yeah, I appreciate it, Billy Sharp, man. If I was in your situation, man, if I had somebody like me talking about the real issues, I'd be doing exactly what you're doing, enjoying my coffee, or I'd be like Omega, driving the truck and listening. You know what I'm saying? Sure would. I sure would. But yeah, we're gonna go into the video right now. Let me know if the audio is good, because I may have a little bit of a lag. Omega told me yesterday I had a 7 to 14 second lag. So we're gonna get into the video right now. The secret meeting at Jekyll Island and Aldrich, plan. Here we go.
In the United States went off in seclusion and in secrecy to a small island off the coast of.
Okay, so it's still crackling a little bit. Damn, I'm on this Wi-Fi, man. Let me see.
Or Georgia, called Jekyll Island. Jekyll Island. At Jekyll Island, there is a
I'm
club.
off.
Jekyll Island Club.
I'm drinking coffee.
The co-owner of the club was none other than.
Let me see here. Oh, you off, Omega? That's cool. And you drinking coffee and cleaning hardware? That's cool, man. Yeah, that's real cool. Yeah, that's real good, man. Okay, I'm gonna play it again. Let me know if it's crackling real bad.
J.P. Morgan. In fact, J.P. Morgan arranged for this facility to be used at the meeting. The Rockefellers and Vanderbilts were also members of the Jekyll Island Club. And here were the attendees. Now, you see Aldrich there. And if you watch some of our previous videos, you will recognize a few of these faces. There's Benjamin Strong. There's Paul Warburg. There's Henry Davis. Have you heard of turtle traders?
Commercial.
They were a group of 14
commercial
traders who were trained by Wall Street legend.
You know what, man? Let me do this here. I'm going to this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch accounts so we can go ahead and get rid of the commercials, because that's gonna be a nuisance, though. I remember the early days with YouTube. I never had to deal with so many commercials, but like everything, let me see here. Let me go ahead and do this here. No, you know what? I'll just go ahead on and play it, because by the time I sign out, go back into an account. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. All right, here we go.
Richard Denton. There's Frank Vanderlip. Who are these men? Well, filled at Morgan and Rockefeller financiers. There's Henry Davison, senior partner at J.P. Morgan and Company. Charles D. Norton at the First National Bank of New York, which was in the Morgan orbit. Benjamin Strong, we talked about in a previous lecture. Bankers Trust in New York. He was a partner of J.P. Morgan. Paul Warburg, we also discussed, represented Kuhn Loeb, currently director of Wells Fargo. Frank Vanderlip was the CEO of National City Bank of New York, which today is Citibank. That was Rockefeller dominated. Nelson Aldrich, well, father-in-law to John D. Rockefeller Jr., Republican, and head of the National Monetary Commission.
and then a university economist. Altogether, these 7 men represented one quarter of the world's wealth. So just highly concentrated amount of power and wealth meeting at this island. And the meeting happened in total secrecy, so much that it's a bit amusing to read about. This was an age of muckraking journalism, and Nelson Aldrich was terrified that the press might get wind of this meeting, because if the press found out about who was at this meeting, Jekyll Island, and what they were doing, hammering out the plan for a central bank, there was no way in this era of trust busting and skepticism of the money power, there was no way that Aldrich's plan would ever succeed in the court of public opinion. And so Aldrich had to keep it very hush-hush. And so the official cover story was, this duck hunting expedition. And the attendees took just super elaborate precautions on the trip there and back. They boarded a train at Hoboken, New Jersey, heading down south. It was a private railroad car in the cover of darkness. They used code names on the train. Took just, again, extra precautions, make sure reporters weren't around, so that they might be able to preserve their secrecy. They ended up staying there 10 years and hammered out 10 days, 10 days and hammered out their plan. By the way, in November of 2010, the Federal Reserve held a 100-year anniversary conference at Jekyll Island, Georgia. 6 years after the Jekyll Island meeting, the founder of Forbes magazine, one of the greatest business magazines in the world, the founder, B.C. Forbes, was one of the first reporters to detail the Jekyll Island meeting, including how the attendees got there. And he gave everything I just described, detailed. He looked into it. He described it as the, quote, strangest, most secret expedition in the history of American finance, the real birth of the present Federal Reserve System. Bertie Charles Forbes, 1916, and he was right. It was a very strange, very secret expedition. I think sometimes when people first hear the Jekyll Island story, it just sounds so conspiratorial, and there's a reluctance to maybe believe it because it sounds like it's from a novel, but it happened. It happened. It's verifiable fact. All the details I just described, and it was verified later also by the attendees. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and you can understand why they wanted secrecy. The fact of the matter is, if the public had gotten wind of who was there, the Aldrich plan wouldn't have stood a chance. And so, if you wanted to achieve the establishment of a central bank, you needed some secrecy. And a bit later, Frank Vanderlip reflected on Jekyll Island and had this to say: I enjoyed it as much as I've ever enjoyed anything else. I lived during those days on Jekyll Island at the highest picture of intellectual awareness that I have ever experienced. It was thrilling. Frank A. Vanderlip, CEO of Citibank. Well, Aldrich leaves Jekyll Island, and he has his plan now ready. And in January of 1911, a few weeks later, the National Monetary Commission releases their long-awaited report. And the report says, quote, we have no provision for the concentration of the cash reserves of the banks and for their mobilization and use wherever needed in times of trouble. Experience has shown that the scattered cash reserves of our banks are inadequate for purposes of assistance or defense at such times. What does that mean in layman's terms or English? We need a lender of last resort. We need some sort of institution to mobilize these reserves and resources in times of panic. The system, in short, is way too decentralized. Our banks also lack adequate means available for use at any time to replenish their reserves or increase their loaning powers when necessary to meet normal or unusual demands. So that's the problem, according to Aldrich and the National Monetary Commission. What's the solution? This is the solution. They say what we need is a National Reserve Association, that would oversee regional reserve centers. And those regional reserve centers would be all throughout the country. And they would oversee the banking system. They would print a single paper currency and act as a lender of last resort. Aldrich said this about his plan.
Let me just pause that right there for one moment. So you heard what what he said, the solution of, because they didn't like the decentralized monetary system that America had before this central bank or Federal Reserve was created. So they said the solution of getting around to that, we want to have it vested powers to create unlimited amount of money, and we're going to take away the gold and silver, just speed it up a little bit, right? That way, because there's a certain amount of gold and silver, precious metals, that's supposed to regulate our spending to make sure that we don't overspend. But here it is. Here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and keep it going.
Not a bank, but a cooperative union of all the banks of the country. And so Aldrich submitted this plan for a National Reserve Association to Congress. This is a bill essentially for a banker-run central bank. All of the officials of the National Reserve Association were to be appointed by banking executives, okay? No government appointees at all. This is a banker-run central bank called the National Reserve Association. Aldrich was very careful to avoid to avoid calling it a central bank, as we saw in the previous slide. This is not a bank, but a cooperative union of the banks, because that word central bank, many people still felt very uneasy about it in the United States. And nonetheless, lender of last resort, a single paper currency run by the banking industry. That is the Aldrich plan.
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300.
Go get rid of this commercial.
It's been sitting empty for the last 28 days.
William Howard Taft, the Republican president, comes out and supports the plan, urges Congress to pass the Aldrich plan. The American Bankers Association also endorses Aldrich's plan.
And we know with Taft, he got paid off. Let's go on and tell it for what it really is. For him to endorse it, he got paid.
Something bad had happened for Aldrich in November 1910, just prior to the meeting at Jekyll Island. Democrats won the congressional elections, right? It wasn't a presidential election, it was the by-election, or excuse me, the congressional election, 1910. Democrats took over the House, and this stalls Aldrich's plan. Aldrich is a Republican, and now his plan, the Democrats don't like it, because from the Democrats' perspective, this is just nakedly pro-banker, right? This is a pro-banker plan. Now, they didn't know about the Jekyll Island stuff, but you didn't need to know about Jekyll Island to look at this plan and see that, you know, if you're alarmed about the money trust, that this is not an adequate solution. And so Aldrich's plan is stalled, and he wasn't even able to introduce the bill until January 1912. And in that interval, he's lobbying and trying to get the votes necessary in order for the plan to pass, but does not succeed. This is an anti-Aldrich plan cartoon of the time. The Coming Money Trust. The Coming Money Trust. Boy, if you thought you had a money trust before, just wait. This National Reserve Association Aldrich has devised is going to make the current money trust pale in comparison. Look at this: National Reserve Association, private syndicate, the octopus Aldrich plan. And what's he doing? He's got the whole systems of government, the White House, the Treasury, the U.S. Capitol, the bank, the factories, the just the ordinary home, and he's just looting the whole country and pouring all this money into what? The New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street. This is the Wall Street plan. And in fact, a Republican, member of the House of Representatives, Charles Lindbergh, who represented Minnesota.
You already know about Lindbergh. Whatever happened to that baby, man? That's what I was always wondering about. That's going to be a topic of another discussion now.
This is not the Charles Lindbergh who flew across the Atlantic in 1927.
Got you. I'm just joking with you guys. I already knew that. I just wanted to see what you guys were listening.
That was his son. This is Charles Lindbergh Sr., Republican from Minnesota. And Charles Lindbergh raised the alarm about this bill. He said, quote, "The Aldrich plan is the Wall Street plan. It means another panic, if necessary, to intimidate the people. Aldrich, paid by the government to represent the people, proposes a plan for the trust instead." Charles Lindbergh uses his position in Congress and his influence in Congress to call for a probe of the money trust.
Yeah, Billy Sharp. Sometimes I do a little humor with this, with the history or whatever. You know, could have been a great teacher, man. See if the kids were listening.
And in 1912, the Democrats in the House, led by the House Committee, or the chair of the House Committee on Banking and Currency, his name was Arson Pujo, who's a Democrat from Louisiana, convened a special committee to investigate J.P. Morgan and the money trust more generally. This committee concluded that J.P. Morgan had secured a de facto monopoly of the New York banking system, and that there was indeed a money power, that there was indeed a money trust. Morgan was called in, scrutinized by this committee. Many famous exchanges between the committee and Morgan during this investigation. And the investigation concluded after looking.
Another commercial.
Ago, I bought
what the ish? What the?
I built one home on it. Making
all right, there we go.
They found that the officers at J.P. Morgan and Company also happened to sit on a board of directors at 112 corporations.
The Pujo Committee.
The officers at J.P. Morgan
of 1912.
On the board of directors of 112 corporations whose market capitalization amounted to $22.5 billion, $22.5 billion. And this was in an age where the total capitalization of the New York Stock Exchange was $26.5 billion. So in short, they found that there is a money power, there is a money trust, and Morgan in particular is the most dominant power in this. This was a magazine cover.
Yeah, you're right about that, Omega, man. Those holiday commercials are ramping up, man, more so than ever. But we're gonna push through it, though. I'm almost there. Almost there.
Of Morgan's control over Wall Street, over big finance. But the Pujo report didn't just pick on Morgan. They also singled out Benjamin Strong, who was one of Morgan's biggest partners. They also singled out Jacob Schiff and Paul Warburg. All of these men, they said.
Jacob Schiff, Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiffs. I'm just kidding. I'm not for sure of that. I can't confirm that. But it's always a shifty person. It's amazing, right? Jacob Schiff
created a system that doesn't work for the good of the public, but works for the benefit of an oligarchical view. Now, Morgan, when he was testifying before the committee, was in ill health. He actually passed away on March 31st, 1913. So Morgan...
Boy, karma is a bitch, isn't it? Karma is a bitch, isn't it?
Only lived so long. And actually his
Omega says, yeah,
Friends
Yeah,
blame the
S in itty, shifty
the
shift.
intensive
Exactly.
hearings as
That's a better
responsible,
name of it.
perhaps, for
You
Morgan's
can't trust nobody's
death
name
in
with a last name
1913.
Shift. You really can't.
This is a Democrat cartoon. It says Dem House going after the Satanic Money Trust. The Satanic Money Trust, chasing them around the stump of politics. Democrats defeated the Aldrich Plan in 1912. Democrats defeated the Aldrich Plan in 1912. Oh, must be over. That's all, right? Well, no, that's not all. That's not all. Aldrich Plan failed, but the basic skeleton will not. There's a presidential election in 1912. The Democrats run Woodrow Wilson. Now, Wilson just so happened to be good friends with Frank Vanderlip of Citibank, and their friendship.
Oh, welcome. We have is it pronounced Luna? Luna. Oh yeah. Hola, ¿cómo está? Oh yeah, beautiful place. Thank you, Luna. Yeah, Luna. Welcome to the channel. Oh yeah. I know you're talking about outdoors. Yeah, I like the. Yeah, it's nice at this time of year. Look at the woods, the pine trees, and so forth. The evergreens. Boy, look at that, boy. And the smell of Christmas around here, ain't it? Boy, we almost got a white Christmas. Yeah. Luana. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, Luana. Okay, thanks. Yeah, Omega is my man to help me out on some of the pronunciation because I got a little dyslexia. But I'm not gonna let it slow me down though, Luana, thank you, Omega. Yeah. Hola, como está?
Went back many years. In fact, Wilson had friendships throughout much of Wall Street. Now, Wilson, a Democrat, campaigned against the Aldrich Plan.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Billy Sharp, man. I am one of these days I'm gonna do some stand-up comedy though, because like I said, boy, that dyslexia, I don't let it hold me down. In fact, I'm gonna talk about it with my dyslexia when I do my stand-up comedy, man. I sure am. I sure will, you know what I'm saying? If you can't talk about yourself, who can you talk about, Who can you talk about?
But he didn't really give much of an alternative to what he would like to see instead. Wilson said this during the campaign.
Yeah, I welcome all of you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the main reasons I like doing lives because I love the interaction. And it's cool to agree to disagree on some things, though. But I just love the interaction, man. I love people.
Any institutions arising from bank reform must be, quote, public, not private. It must be vested in the government itself so that the banks must be the...
Boy, we got John in the house, boy. Big John. Yep. What's going on with you, John? Morning, everyone. We got John in the house. Yep. Boy, we got Omega, Billy Sharp, Luana. We got her in here, Hopefully I didn't run her off. I know she said this guy can't even read my name. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but if she stick around, she'll find out that we're all are really real cool, Morning, brother. This is what Billy Sharp has to say. Yeah, John, we are tackling the Federal Reserve Bank, the central bank. I'm going over I don't know how much you have heard, but we're going over. There's a guy that goes by his name of Professor Barth, right? And Professor Barth is breaking it down on the creatures of Jekyll Island. These people, Aldrich, Big Money, J.P. Morgan, Chase, these low down scoundrels, Yep. Yeah, John says, I got you on Bluetooth speakers. The cows are learning about the feds. Yeah, the cows are learning about the feds. Yeah, John Paddock says, morning, Billy. Morning, Omega. Yeah, you guys, man, welcome to the chat. Yeah, man, we are tackling the most powerful organization. The most powerful organization is in America is the Federal Reserve. There is no one more powerful. There's no one. We talk about mobs, mobster. Nope. Kennedys. Nope. We could talk about nope. The most powerful organization is the Federal Reserve. You know, that is the most powerful organization on the planet is the Federal Reserve Bank. And we're talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about it. Omega says, morning, John, Paddock. The Dems are after their farts. The Dems, right? Woo, boy, we're gonna talk about them, man. Woo, man, they are woo. We got that bill. They okayed on that bill though. So it look like now that the farm, hey, you guys, you and Sherry, John, hey, the farm aid, yeah. Remember farm aid before? Yeah, you guys, they passed on it. They passed on it though. The local farms as well as FEMA. They passed on it. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. Meet me at the club. It's going down. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Will you be mine? Will you be my neighbor? Yeah, it's a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-huh. John says, I don't take that. You don't pay for my, because there should have been so much more that these guys, oh, look at what they tried to do. They wanted to cut they wanted to cut the farm aid out. That was one of the things they wanted to do. They wanted to cut that out of there, out of that bill, as well as the FEMA thing. We got enough issues as it is. It lets you know that they don't give a damn about us at all as the people. And they are being controlled by the Federal Reserve Bank. We already talked about it before, the most powerful organization on the planet. And let me go ahead and finish this up, and then we're going to talk about it.
Instruments, not the masters of business.
Have you heard about
Wi-Fi
Pro? This is the cutting-edge portable Wi-Fi hotspot that people wish they found out about sooner.
But what does that even mean exactly? He didn't give any precise details. The Democratic platform in 1912, the official party platform, said this: "We oppose the so-called Aldrich Bill of the establishment of a central bank. We believe the people of the country will be largely freed from panics by such a systematic revision."
Oh, it got dark. What the? Oh, the feed got dark. Oh, I know why the feed got dark. Hold on for a minute. Son of a biscuit. All right, hold on for a minute. That should be better.
Our banking laws, as will render temporary relief in localities where such relief is needed, with protection from control or domination by what is known as the money trust. So they said what we need is an institution that is not controlled or dominated by the money trust.
Yep.
That's the solution. Okay.
Battery is starting to go a little, but I got it plugged in now. Should lighten back up. Yeah. Yes. Thank you again. Every time Billy Sharp on here, things go dark, man. You know what I'm saying? Go dark, but we got some light. We got some light on the subject right now, Darkness, man. Darkness.
We oppose the Aldrich Bill. We oppose this idea for a central bank run by bankers. The platform continued: "Banks exist for the accommodation of the public and not for the control of business. All legislation on the subject of banking and currency should have for its purpose the securing of these accommodations on terms of absolute security to the public and of complete protection from the misuse of the power that wealth gives to those who possess it." That's a Democratic platform. Short on details. Well, Wilson wins this election. He becomes president in March of 1913. Over the summer, negotiations take place in the House and in the Senate. Into the fall, there's the electoral map, by the way. Quite a victory for Wilson. Taft had competition there from Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, he beat them guys out, man. One of the worst presidents we had in U.S. history is Woodrow Wilson.
1913, Woodrow Wilson signed into law the Federal Reserve Act. And we will take a look at that in the next part of our video. See you there.
Yeah, this guy here is on it. Professor Barth, ladies and gentlemen. The one that does not have dyslexia, the one that can pronounce the words properly. Ain't that something? Buchanan, then Wilson. Yeah, yeah, what's that? Not Buchanan. Yeah, Buchanan. Yeah, then Wilson. Yeah, but I ain't gonna let it stop me though. Yeah, what the? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is a thing here, man. Yeah, we are was it making history here right now, and this is what Trump is going up against the deep state, which are these people here. And like I said, this is the third attempt of a central bank in things in this country. And when Trump talked about the golden age, which I can see it coming into view, man, getting rid of a lot of these deregulating government have to be deregulated. We have to shrink government by 80%. There's no other way around it. By getting rid of the central bank as well, the Federal Reserve, the American people will see um, the inflation will go down. We'll have more money in our pocket to be able to do more things. More American businesses, manufacturing will return. Prosperity will come back. People will say, "Oh my gosh, the Federal Reserve did all this, so they had us out here eating sardines for dinner." How did song go with Biggie? It was all the dream. I used to read the J.P. Morgan magazine, Salt and Pepper, and what's his name up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. I want those days to go back to the point, had to say the wise words of Biggie Smalls, though, ladies and gentlemen. Got to be able to teach this stuff for the children, man. Yep. Omega says, sounding like a libertarian now. Heavy D. Oh man. Oh man, heavy D. Yeah. But yeah, I used to be a libertarian, I used to. But I didn't like where things were going. Heavy D, yep. Money earning. I mean, I miss Heavy D, man. Money earning Mount Vernon is where he was from. Yep. We don't call it Mount Vernon. We call it money earning Mount Vernon. I met a guy from a money earning Mount Vernon. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's the thing about it though. Yep. Billy Sharp says salt and pepper. Up in the limousine. Oh yeah, yep. I can see where we got a lot of Generation Xers in this room and things though, because you guys could be able to recognize the actual things that I drop, the reference points of this stuff. Yeah, you guys already know what it is. Yeah, I know what John says, I gotta say, I'm probably more a libertarian than a conservative. I get that. And that's the thing about it though, John. That's what I like about this room. You can be a liberal, libertarian, Green Party, what is it? The Tea Party, Green Party, all that conservative. We all getting along just fine. Omega says, I met Heavy D back in the day. Oh, you did? Oh yeah, Heavy D and the boys, man. Oh man. Man, those guys were rolling, man. Yeah, yeah, those guys was rolling, man. Yep, Heavy D and the boys. Oh yeah, yeah. Who do you think you are? You remember we did that song on there, put that Mr. Big Stuff. Yep, Heavy D. Yep. What about Chubb Rock? 1990 coming back. Let's swing it. Yeah, Chubb Rock. Hey y'all, don't get me started on the 90 references, man, on hip hop now. Yeah, that was the jam, man. Treat them right. Yeah, that was the jam, man. Food Snickin', the Poor Righteous Teachers, A Tribe Called Quest, Kwame, the Boy Genius. Boy, yeah, man, we was rolling, man. We had the Intelligent Hoodlum, man. Oh man, we had man, Spice One. We had a lot, man. We had them boys. Oh man. What about Gangstar? What you know about that? Gangstar, man. Yeah, I missed the Guru, man, when he passed away, man. The Gurus. Oh yeah, Beastie Boys. Yeah, the Beastie Boys were rolling though, man. You gotta fight for your rights to party. Yeah, that was the jam, man. Yeah, I like Brass Monkey too. LL Cool J. Yep. Ladies love Cool J's. Yeah. LL Cool J. Yeah, man. He was rolling. He was rolling. Yeah, Gangstar. Almost forgot about Gangstar. Yeah, Omega, man. We can't forget about Gangstar, man. The guru, man. Man, man, on all that. Mama said knock you out. Mama said knock you out. How about Milky? Cereal, baby, Milky. I'm bad. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. When I'm alone in my room, I sit and stare at the walls. In the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call. What about that one? What y'all know about that? You know what I'm saying? Who did y'all like the best? Did y'all like who was one? We got an it was an LL Cool J or Cool Mo D. I know I had the mixtape too, man. Which one did y'all like? LL or Cool Mo D? Which one? You know, I know a lot of people gonna go with LL, but I was a Mo D fan though, man. Cool Mo D. When he came out with the Wild Wild West, man. Uh, Answer both. I do like both though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like LL and I also like Cool Mo D. He turned that part of New York into the Wild Wild West. That was amazing on that video. I used to live downtown, 129th Street. Oh man, are you kidding me, man? As a me being from born in New York, originally now, man, Mo D, boy, Cool Mo D, man. Yep. Never mind both. Oh yeah, Omega says nah. Funky Cole Medina. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me, man. But you know what? Tone Loc, man. I like the Tone Loc, man. Oh yeah, Funky Cole Medina and what's the other one, man? He had so many of them. Wild Thing, Funky Cole Medina. Oh man, yeah, Funky Cole Medina. Yep. Yeah, man. They had to be around back in the days to reference that, man. That was what's up. Wild Thing. Yep. hmm Yeah. Yep. And then also, and actually, I was gonna say, Tone Loc, man. He also played in Posse. Y'all remember that one with what's his name? Mario Van Peebles, man. Posse. Yeah, man. Yeah, Tone Loc did his thing in that movie, man. You also had Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy was in there too, boy. Big Daddy. Now, how do y'all like Big Daddy Kane? No, I rock with Big Daddy though, man. Are you kidding me? Oh man, Big Daddy Kane. Oh man, ain't no half stepping. Uh, uh, uh. Oh man, smooth operator. Oh man, boy. Now, oh man, Big Daddy Kane, man. You can't take nothing from Big Daddy. Uh, everybody loves Sir Mix-a-Lot. Oh yeah, Anaconda. Oh man, yeah. Unless you got buns, hon, you can do side bends or sit-ups. But please don't lose that butt. Oh man, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah, Sir Mix-a-Lot, my posse on Broadway. Those are Seattle boys out of Seattle. Yeah. I said my real estate investor to make a lot of money. John said, I remember sitting in Germany smoking hash, dancing to Funky Cole Medina. Yeah, man. That right there, man. Mm. Yeah, that was the stuff there, man. That was the stuff. Was any of you guys a MC Hammer fan? Tell the truth. Hammer, hammer, hammer. You gotta lay it down. So put on the hammer and you will be rewarded. My beats are ever booming, and I get it started. I get it started. I get it started. Oh, hammer, hammer, hammer. Those hammer pants, man. We're up in the club doing the hammer. Yeah, boy. MC Hammer, boy. Yep. Joy and pain, sunshine. Hammer, boy. Yeah, Hammer, boy. Hey, can't deny it, though, man. It is what it is. Yeah, we're talking about rap, ladies and gentlemen. The history, man, man, I tell you, man, yeah, Hammer was one of the. Even had a cartoon. That's how big Hammer was. Bought that $10 million crib back in the days out in California. Yeah, MC. Yeah, Omega said MC Hammer was all right. I like more of his. I like more of his less broadcasting songs. They played out on a lot of his songs. Yeah, okay, they played out a lot of his songs. Right. Yeah, I liked it too, though, man. Yeah, they even had. I liked it. You know what, Omega? I liked it. This one song, "Yo, Sweetness is my weakness. Give it to me, baby." I like the sample though. It was good. You know what I'm saying? Hammer. Yeah, Hammer was. He blew up big, man. He had the fade. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, those feet. They were like lightning speed, though. Y'all remember the one, too legit, too legit, too legit to quit? Y'all remember when he took on, yeah, Hammer took on Michael Jackson. Now, take it on Michael now. Michael, nobody come for the king of pop, man. Nobody comes for the king, man. Michael was smooth, boy. You know, he was smooth on that moonwalking thing, man. Nobody did the moonwalking better than Michael Jackson. Nobody. I seen Chris Brown get down, but no, not like Michael, man. Michael was smooth. Mm, yeah. Omega says, I can't I can't brunt out I can't touch this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Can't touch this. Oh yeah, that was a jam there. But I also but I was more of a Rick James fan back in the day. I didn't too much care for the use of the bass line. Oh really? Oh yeah, Rick James. Yes, a Mary J. You my main thing. You light my world on fire. Oh man, that was and when I'm feeling low, you take me. Mary Jane. How about he was the one to put the Mary Jane girls together. Rick James, Fire and Ice. Oh yeah, your how you said your dark mother. That was Rick James, man. Tina Marie. Yep, Tina Marie, one of the most unsung heroes, man. Yeah, man. Rick James, Fire and Desire. Are you kidding me? How about She Was 17? Oh yeah, I'm a big Rick James fan, man. That bass line was hitting hard. Super Freak. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Super Freak was my song when I was a kid, but I didn't like the use of the beat for Can't Touch This. Right, exactly. I got you. Not everything when Hammer crossed over though, right? You talking about if Hammer used it? Yeah, because I know what you're talking about. Because Hammer did use that beat. Can't touch this. Yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying. But yeah, I was in that era, man, as a kid though, with Super Freak and all that was out. The Mary Jane girls all night long. Man, Candace Waters, her sister. There was a couple of other ones all night long. They were way more talented than they were far more talented than Prince's Vanity Six by far, man. Vanity Six, Mary Jane girls were far more talented, man. Uh, I didn't think they were bad looking either. They were good looking girls. What about that one? What's that one? We like the cars that go boom. They were some cuties back then, man. They were hot. They were cuties back then, man. That song. Yep. Yep. That was the jam, man. How about that one song by what's his name? Spring Love. For my Latinos in the house, Remember that one? Oh yeah. I missed the text. Hold on for a minute. I don't miss no text. Um, what's that? Courtney says, "Are you Michael Jordan?" Yeah, Michael Jordan, man. I get a lot of compliments on my smile, like Michael Jordan, though. Yeah. No, I'm not Michael Jordan, though. I know I'm not. Omega says, wasn't the 357 Oakland? Oh yeah, the 357 girls. Yeah, they were from Oakland. Yeah, because MC Hammer put them out and stuff like that. Yeah, 357 girls. Yeah, they were cool. Yeah, they were from Oakland, I do believe. Because Hammer was from Oakland. And they had a nice little buzz coming out of there. Too Short. Remember? Too Short was from Oakland too, you know. Oh yeah, I know like I got MC up in here, my arch rival and nemesis, man. I finally get an arch. You arching me, I get an arch rival and nemesis, Omega. Everybody gotta have one, though. Every superhero you gotta have a who? Arch rival and the nemesis, right? My nemesis, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, MC, my arch rival and nemesis. This ignorant Trump card needs to check his grammar on his channel. Doesn't somebody own the Fed? I said, man, now you gonna kick me down, MC. I got dyslexia, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just lack of education and ignorant, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna let that stop me though, you know what I'm saying? You can't troll me, man. You cannot troll me. You try every time. You cannot troll me. MC says, does anybody owns the feds? I'm going to say that again. Does anybody? Yeah, the feds are owned. Its members are very secretive today, but they are owned because it's a private bank. But you know what, MC, man? I don't have no ill will towards you whatsoever, man, MC. I appreciate what you, and I see you around on Genesis. I see you around on Genius Madhouse. I've seen you there many of times too, MC. I see you around. I've seen you though, man. I've seen you on there. I never called you out, but I've seen you on there. It's all good. But your feeble attempt in the Force. Let me do a Star Wars reference. You know what I'm saying? Your lack of faith in the Force, MC, is most disturbing. Ah, man. Yeah, so John says MC enlightens us. He does. Omega says, MC, I bet you believe that the politicians love a care for you. Newsflash, they don't. John says the Fed is owned by a private shareholders, which they are. So that's the thing about it, though. But I love that MC. I found it. You got if you ever I'm sure some of you guys, Omega, you had channels before, like you told me. You always have an arch rival, man, and look like mine is gonna be MC. And things though, you always find my room, always come in here and criticize me, man. Put me down, talk about my dyslexia, talk about my bad grammar and spelling. What he doesn't know is that whenever I finish a live, I go back in there and I fix it and I correct it, And I just did this on the fly, not making no excuses about it and things. But after it's edited today, it's gonna be polished. If you look at all my other channels, like I'm sorry, not my channels. If you look at all my other episodes that I did previously, every last one of them is spot on with the grammar and things, punctuation, spelling and stuff, So yeah. So after today, this one will be polished as well too. But it wasn't something that I already didn't know, MC, But you can't troll me.